1,429!
Pardon me there, Mr. Chowen. Can I have a few words with you about the upcoming challenge that you have going on?
May 15th challenge, absolutely.
Alright.
Just give me a minute here. Why don't you go wait in my office? I'll be right there.
Alright. Thank you, Mr. Chowen, for...
Let's make this quick. I don't have a lot of time. I'm a busy guy.
No problem.
Hold on 1 second here. Yeah, Andrea, hold my calls. I'll be in a meeting for about 5 minutes. Yeah, go back to work. Yeah, it's Chowen. No, I'm not taking any calls. Hold all my calls, Andrea. Stop bothering me. A misty morning back in grade 5, and he was what you call, well, he was a portly little guy. Kind of had a big head of hair, big afro, and he's one of those kids that always got picked last for all the teams. Dom was kind of a lost kid. He was in the middle, he wasn't in Westdale, but he wasn't in Charleswood. He was kind of in the center there. So, a bit of an identity crisis, I think, and well, I think he's still in the middle trying to figure out kind of what area he's from. Kind of feel bad for him, hanging out with Sim and Morissette and those Westdale guys, but yeah, hey, gotta do what you gotta do, you gotta make things for yourself, and he just never did. So it was a great party until the Pickering showed up. Dogs, wife, Dominic, everybody showed up, and boy, it's all hell broke loose, let's put it that way. The party turned from a great time into, well, pretty much a disaster. Last thing I remember, Jordy, after eating all my flowers, got his head caught in a flower basket and was running around the yard yelping because he had a cage around his neck.
Here he comes! Here he comes! Here he is! Mr. Pickering! Mr. Pickering! Do you mind if we ask you a few questions about May 15th? Mr. Pickering, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Go ahead.
How did the Chowen-Pickering feud start?
Be dating back early school. I think a lot of people knew the kind of person he was, and a certain vibe around that kid, and not many people really do care for him out of his friends. But next question.
I was out there do some fishing with my buddy Smitty, and oh, look who shows up, Dominic. And can I go fishing with you guys? Well, do you have a rod? Oh yeah, I've got this one, some stupid name for it, Excalibur, Lancelot or something like that. Basically, he bought it at Walmart about 15 minutes before he got there. Anyway, so we end up playing games all night, and I like to have a good time, so me and Smitty end up playing Risk all night. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, probably had a few wobbly pops that night, me and Diener, and out comes Dom, strolls out of bed in his slippers and house coat, and oh, here comes Ringer, he wakes up too, and me and Smitty are right in the middle of the game. And I'll tell you, that game, that night, I got Australia, and I went out from there. I basically took over Asia. Yeah, Canada dominated that game. Just took me a while to knock Smitty out, but definitely won, I remember that. Then I beat him at Battleship and a few other games, but anyways, Johnny, I guess after a good night's sleep, and he throws out, Chowen, you think you can beat Dom in a swimming race? I've never turned a challenge down. Of course I can. Look at the guy. There's no way I'm losing to that guy. Well, little did I know that they had this pre-planned, and we went down to the dock about 10 minutes later. after a night of no sleep and wobbly pops, and went down the dock. Dom somehow already had his swim trunks on, which I thought was kind of strange. Obviously, I'm more endurance than this guy, but so off we went. We dove in. I didn't have swim trunks or anything. I had to improvise. And, well, I guess we're basically stroke for stroke across. Stroke for stroke. I look over, there he is. I was kind of biding my time, taking a little breather. Didn't want to beat him too badly. So basically we get across the lake, and as we're had to touch the other side, we had to touch a rock. I cut my leg open on a jagged rock right in the Royal Lake there. Cut myself open. Dominic starts swimming back across. I couldn't do it. I was definitely had an injury that the race should have been stopped right then and there. And he's been playing water polo for 12 years. Oh, well, that's really fair. Basically, I got bamboozled. I got double crossed, and I didn't appreciate that. And not only that, I got injured when I was winning the race.
Royal Lake. Now that was a scene. Paramedics, boats screaming out to the middle of the lake to pick up a contestant that was supposed to be a challenger. I was embarrassing. I was a waste of my time. I shouldn't be pulled out for events like that to watch the guy I'm going up against back out of a race because he's losing. You can't say much about a guy like that who doesn't have much pride and still can show his face around. I don't know how he does it, but I think that speaks volume of his personality.
Guess who yells out, "Hey Chowen, you think he can beat Dom in a 100-meter dash?" Do I think I can beat Dom? Look at me. Look at him. Come on. Dominic says, "Oh yeah, I can beat him." Well, that was probably the most preposterous thing I'd ever heard. Shortly after, we went out to the street. We measured off the 100 meters. We lined up. I borrowed somebody's shoes. I don't even know what kind of shoes they were. Weren't sneakers, I know that for sure. Dominic just happened to have all his running gear on him, these goofy running glasses. He had the shorts, the running shoes, the sprinter's shoes. It was ridiculous. But obviously, we know who won that one. It was clear cut. I destroyed him. I came around the corner. It was all part of my strategy. He was on my shoulder. I cut inside, beat him by a good, 10 steps. I kind of had my arm up. I remember looking back at him. That was it.
Once again, another event not properly organized, and the markings out there weren't clear. But I'm sure if you asked a lot of people, they'd say I won that race, and this wouldn't be happening May 15th. But you know what? I'm ready to set the record straight once and for all.
There is a lot of people out there that believe that you may have thrown that race. Can you give us a comment on that?
Yeah, a person in my situation throwing a race, I don't know why I would do that. I beat him easily without even warming up. Next question.
I owe it to the fans, all the letters, the emails I've been getting, people on the street stopping me. I'm training and they're waving to me, giving me a thumbs up. Everywhere I go. I can't go to Safeway anymore. It's getting ridiculous. But I guess that's the price you pay with fame. Apparently there was a meeting, competition committee, finally after 2 years came up with this idea, some sort of bowling game. I've never bowled in my life, but I will compete to the best of my abilities. I've never been stronger. I've never been in better shape. I've never been better looking. This thing is going to be a cakewalk.
There's lots of allegations out there that one or both of you have been using performance-enhancing drugs to get ready for this event. Is there any truth to that?
Have you seen him? Does that look like the body of a person who uses performance-enhancing drugs? Come on, those are, no, I'd have no reason to do that.
One last question, Mr. Pickering. Can you give us a prediction for May 15th?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.